First thing I want to do is get the wheels chalked, since I'm going to be underneath it, and I need to put it in neutral because I want to check all the wheel bearings, not the wheel bearings, the U-joints. Yeah, all the U-joints and carrier bearing, differential pinion, transmission or transfer case output, all that stuff. Alright, we'll start up here at the front. What we want to do is check the output of a transfer case, make sure there's no up and down movement. Check our U-joints here. Those all look original, non-greasable. And we want to go left and right and look for any play here and in here. I don't see anything there. Got a carrier bearing here. Carrier bearing can have vibration due to the bearing itself going bad or the rubber on the outside. That'll be a very good possibility of my vibration. And there's a slip yoke in here, we got to check that too. We want to hold this side and twist this side because there's teeth in there and they spine like this, and when they get worn they'll do this and give you a vibration as well. It's a little bit of wear but not terrible. Now we'll move this U-joint. This is, looks like plastic injection here holding this in right there. That doesn't look bad. Go to the rear end. Got a little bit of play in our pinion. You can see how it moves a fair amount before it engages. Not like Dodge has the best differentials. The U-joints seem okay. But in order to replace that carrier bearing, we have to take the rear shaft out and slide this off of here. And these are phased. So you can see how the U-joints are all in line here. We have to make sure we put them back the same way when we put it together. So let's get some tools and we'll get the carrier bearing took loose here. We'll take it loose at the transfer case. We'll take it loose at the rear end, drop it all out, and we'll just go ahead and replace all the U-joints and the carrier bearing, and we're done. And we'll use greasable stuff. So when this was made, it was balanced. As a unit. So if we turn this slip yoke, we'll make sure this U-joint and that U-joint's in the same plane, same with that one. If we happen to put this with that yoke 180 out, then it may not be in balance in phase where it was balanced, and we could have a vibration. And we don't want that. So next thing we got to do is pull this one out of here. So we got to separate these clamps. What we have to do is get behind it and then spread it slightly. That's what we gotta do. Usually that's enough. Don't normally need to do two. You can just get away with just doing one. Steel against aluminum. Great idea, Dodge.
Wow.
Yeah, not much left there, is there? I'm just tearing this apart so it's easier to see what we're going to do. So now you can see we got this washer here. This is what this is. That's what our slip joint boot hooks over top of and clamps on. that retainer in here, this protective washer. We're going to knock that out of there. We're going to gain access to the bearing so we can take it apart. This is the inner race we're talking about right here. That's the part we need to get to. This thing right here. So everything around it needs to come off.
No truer words spoken.
Alright, you can see down in here, we're getting down into the bearings. See that plastic cage is what holds it. So you see the rollers in here. Usually if you can get this, where's that chisel at? If you can get this, the bearings kind of ran around together close enough, you can create a gap big enough to knock it loose.
If you want me to get the chisel, I can.
Yeah.
You said yeah?
Yeah. Okay, see how we're creating slop here? So it won't take much. If we take a chisel in here, and we're basically be able to spread this outer edge of it, then we can work the ball bearings around. They'll fall right out in just a minute or two.
Alright, well let me get the chisel.
This one might just be just a little bit too wide, or I need one a lot wider.
Well, most of your thin ones are broken.
There we go. Starting to come out. See how they work out. Once you get them coming, they'll be out pretty quick. Don't you worry, my cleaning lady will get those before we trip on them and fall.
If we don't step on them and bust our butt.
This is where a magnet comes in handy.
We have one.
Now the only thing holding that on is the backside seal. Knock that out. There's that inner race we were talking about right there. So a lot of times you could just score it and smack it a couple times.
Ooh.
Okay, next up, wire wheel. So here's the new crappy design. So we need something to go on the outside edge of that and press it down on there. So I've made these over the years, just pieces of pipe. That one's too big. These are for different carrier bearings or seal or something. So now all I'll do is just go find us a piece of pipe. That's bottomed out. That's our collar for the boot now. So this end's done, the carrier bearing's finished. And all we did was press against that inner race, so We didn't do any damage, everything's good to go. So now let's start on U-joints. Well, this drive shaft is done. I didn't show changing this U-joint out because it was literally a soup sandwich of a job. I struggle with that between the plastic injection that holds it in and all the rust that was on there. It was terrible. So I'm hoping that this drive shaft and these two will go easier. Give it a shot. Forgot I had that. This is that plastic injection groove right here. So as you start to take it out, it's still kind of, there's still some in the groove down there. So it makes it hard to get this out. As you pop this up, that grease can come up flying. There we go. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's on fire. Again, you gotta be careful because that grease will pop. Like this. Get on these two ears.
It's pretty hot.
Yep.
You're losing the pins out of it.
Yep.
You want a welding glove or something?
There it is. It's off. Now we'll let that off to the side and cool. I don't want to lay that on concrete though, because concrete will pop.
Yeah, a piece of wood is good, I
Okay.
guess.
Now, same deal. Just got to heat this one up now. See how this is going to go. Same procedure all the way around. So we have two grooves. This is one for our snap ring. You see how much crap is down in there? And here's the groove with the plastic injection. You see I'm pulling that crap out right now. Right there.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't take that out, it makes it harder to get the cap in. So I gotta clean that out. So I'll clean what I can see this way, then I'll flip it. Get to the other side. That's what comes out of there. With the grease fitting pointing in towards the U-joint. This is where it gets a little crazy because you gotta be careful. You gotta hold the U-joint up against the cap so that that's hot. Tighten this up. Back it off just a little. Whoa, tighten it up. Okay. Anyways, so I have to keep the U-joint pressed this way so that the needle bearings don't fall out. So just turn turn it so it's easier for everyone to see. This here way. Okay. Now we just have to pull the U-joint far enough this way to engage into the needle bearings, but not come out of these ones. Or you could press them in, I guess. Okay, got it in that far. Now we'll go over to our socket and go even farther. I want to make sure we get enough room to get that snap ring in before we go and start on that side. Well, that went just about as well as the other one, but at least it's in. Now we're going to take that one apart. So this drive shaft's done. This one went in so much easier than the other one, so I'm thankful for that. So now we can put this thing in, and again we got to make sure we phase it correctly with our front shaft. Let's clean these splines off, and you can see here there's one that's blocked off. So if we look at the female part of the slip yoke, we'll have one place where it doesn't have a male spline to go in here. It'll have a block off, not machine part. You can see it right there. So it's very easy to tell where it needs to go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and put some grease inside here. This is not a greasable slip yoke. There's no grease fitting on it. So we're going to put a little bit in here. This is like a Teflon coating on here, but I don't think grease is going to hurt it, so we're going to add some. Seems to fit better that way though. Sometimes creepers just suck. One of these days, I'll put up a rack. Right? I want a 2-post lift, 12,000 pound, so I don't have to lay on my back anymore.
Might as well just wait and put it in our new shop.
Yeah. This crimp tool not only squeezes the clamp, but it pushes. You see that foot there? It pushes this way and keeps it flat. So you're not just going to cut the thing in two by squeezing it. It doesn't take a lot. Make sure I'm where I want to be here. Just take a crimp tool, just squeeze it in. Okay, now that is back to factory. So now all we got to do is grease all 3 U-joints. I like to roll it around. Put a little grease in it, roll it around the first time, just to make sure we're getting it all the way around. And don't make the mistake I did. I paid attention to where I put my grease fittings on 2 of these, but because I was waiting on one to show up, I didn't pay attention to where I put the grease fitting.
Coming out.
I didn't pay attention to where I put the grease fitting, so now this grease fitting is here on these 2, but on the back one it's 180 out, so it's not as easy to grease as it could be. So don't make the mistake I did. I don't think it's that big a deal where I'm taking it apart or anything. I think it's going to live there, and that's just how it's going to be. Because when I grease something, I like to jack it up anyways. Looks like transmission fluid. It's full. Snap-on sissy grip ratchet. Okay, we're done under here. Oh yeah, we boogered up the exhaust. I lost my tailpipe.
You're blinding us.
Huh?
You're blinding us.
So the tailpipe fell off, and I was going to repair it, but this is aftermarket exhaust in here, the center section. So I just turned a 90 on it. I'm gonna get a piece of pipe and just run it out that way. I don't like aftermarket stuff, but especially performance stuff, but it is what it is. At least it's not bouncing around like it was, you know. And if I get that out there, it'll at least get the noise out from underneath the truck and the heat. I don't want it on that rear end. It was, you can see the differential, how black it is. That's from the exhaust hitting it, and I don't want that. So we'll get a pipe and run it out here and make some kind of hanger out of rubber or whatever. It'll be fine.